One question I love to ask is if you were a dessert, what dessert would you be? Everybody wants to think that they're like, the blueberry cheesecake. Deep down, you know that you're rasmalai at heart.
I love that. I'm stealing it.
Public display of socks. Oh nice. Kissy kiss.
For the love of all that you hold sacred, it's great that you read poetry, but please do not recite Rumi, Gulzar, Ghalib, Faiz. Don't use it as a pickup line. I grew up on a steady diet of like Shah Rukh movies.
Yeah.
The idea of love was always at some point of time like, slow motion, violence, Mehuna ruined me for life.
If you are with the right person, वो violence बचते हैं यार. वो ऐसा लगता है कि अभी ऐसे वो पेड़ ऐसे लहरा रहा है.
What's one thing in dating that you used to hate that you love now?
I think it's delayed replies. Hear me out. It's a wild take.
Somebody that's serene.
Flirt with everyone. It does not have to be your type. It does not have to be your age bracket. It teaches you how to handle rejection better. It teaches you how to approach people better. I ended up here because I was flirting with somebody.
Hello and welcome back to the Brunch Club. We couldn't be more excited to have Serene joining us for today's episode. Welcome, Serene.
Hello, ladies. Thank you for having me here.
We need to know, how are the boys doing in the dating world?
It's been confusing, to say the least, because yesterday I saw this reel about somebody explaining if a woman says no, does she actually mean no? And she's explaining like 20 different hypothetical situations in response to being asked out on a date. Like if she said this, then it means this. And for me, if it's not an enthusiastic yes, it's a no.
But I think if a woman is saying no in any tone, it's no only.
What's your favorite first date you've been on though? Speaking of dates.
It started off at an art gallery. Then it went to a bar where we were just talking for like 3 or 4 hours. Went to a second bar. The conversation continued. Then I just dropped her home and that was about the end of it. The reason why I would say this is the best first date that I've been on is because the conversation was organic, it was natural, it was equal participation on both sides. Like it's two people sitting down to getting to know each other. Like it's not just one person conducting an interview.
The metric I use for a first date going well is when you say goodbye, you sort of don't want it to end. Like you have the sense that you'd like it for it to keep going, and you have a little bit of bittersweetness when you have to say goodbye, even when it's the first time meeting. The anatomy of a good first date involves a little bit of banter, a little bit of like a deeper connection.
By the way, I was watching this reel and this woman goes, on your first date, you should feel like kissing that person, and on your second date, you should feel beats down there. If you are genuinely enjoying the company and you're genuinely having the best time on that date.
I get the idea of feeling a certain bit of tension, but is that a substitute for long-term compatibility? Like, do you look at a certain amount of sexual tension or a certain amount of chemistry?
How can you gauge like he will be my husband from the very first date? First date, you look for like what compatibility is, what you think, are you guys having fun, vibe match ho rahi hai ya nahi ho rahi hai? And then I think that moves on to the second date.
Public service announcement, irrespective of gender, irrespective of age, demographics, flirt with everyone. It does not have to be your type. It does not have to be your age bracket. The idea of flirting is harmless, playful communication. It is as simple as going up to somebody, giving them a sweet compliment. If they are receptive to a conversation, take it, go with it. If they are not, say thank you, lovely meeting you, walk the other way. It teaches you how to handle rejection better. It teaches you how to approach people better. It teaches you to observe finer things about people. Because I can come up to either one of you and say that you're absolutely gorgeous, or I love your hair, I love your eyes. These are traits, like these are things that you had no active involvement. But if I come up to you and I tell you that I love the watch you're wearing, like what's the story behind it? Or if I come up to you and tell you that, hey, I love your dressing sense. It's simple, but you carry it off so well. Like, where did you get the idea for this? If you point out individual conscious choices that a person has made, it gives you a gateway to another person. Go out of your comfort zone. See what comes out of it. It opens up so many doors. It opens up so many possibilities. I ended up here because I was flirting with somebody.
Who?
That's for the next episode.
Oh shit!
Oh my god,
He knows
hanger.
He knows content better than
real
me.
producer nikle.
Like flirting is a muscle that you can build. If you're single,
In
As
a
long-
relationship.
No, obviously not in a relationship. Like I did
out
not
में नहीं
know
सीख
I did not know I have to spell this out, but only if you are single, only if the other person shows any interest in being approached, no matter how fancy their bag is, no matter how cool their boots are, it's okay. They know it.
Mic drop. Boom. Shakalaka. And with that,
Serena.
निकल जाओ चलो हो गया.
मुझे ना जब थोड़ा सा nervous feel होता है ना, I like it. I don't know if that's a good thing, but like, what is something that makes you go a little weak in the knees? What a girl does.
How much time do we have? I think one of the best things or the best traits that I find attractive in a woman is the ability to take initiative.
Oh.
But a lot of people in general feel like the first date is an opportunity to test somebody else and their initiative taking skills. If somebody says ki, hey, listen, I have this in mind, how about we do so and so, like that collaborative effort really gets me
आपको
going.
भी चाहिए वो, तो फिर सबको चाहिए तो करेगा कौन?
हम ही कर रहे हैं साथ में.
मिलके करो.
मिलके.
Do you ever feel lonely? So you're 30.
Yes.
You're living your life, you're thriving, you're working, you're slaying, you have many hobbies.
Way too many hobbies. I think I've lost track of things now.
Yeah.
Do I feel lonely? No. I think there are fleeting moments where, for example, if I'm sitting at the edge of a cliff and I'm looking at a sunset while I'm on a road trip, maybe for 10 seconds the thought will cross my mind, I wish I had somebody to share this with.
Got it.
But then I kind of snap back to reality. I'm like, I am here in this moment.
Right.
Why am I not enjoying this fully?
Exactly.
When somebody has to show up, they will show up. If they don't, their loss. So I mitigate my loneliness.
Yeah, it seems like a really healthy approach, because for you to feel fulfilled internally and intrinsically, it puts less pressure on other people to come into your life and like fill some kind of void that you've created for yourself.
It does, because the more I pressurize myself into finding somebody to fill that void, the more ignorant I become of another person's flaws or compatibility issues.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to fall in love for the sake of ticking off a checkbox. I'd rather take my time, be 100% sure about who I'm committing to, who I want to spend these sunrises and sunsets with, rather than just settling for the first person who's shown interest in me. I think that's a far worse situation to be in.
I to keep saying ki enjoy both of your phases. Like a lot of friends come to me and say, yeah, even though I am single, it would have been nice if there was someone in my life. And I keep telling them ki bro, enjoy when you are alone, and then you'll also enjoy someone's company.
Absolutely.
Like हो जाएगा अपने आप पता भी नहीं चलता है.
Yeah, and अगर नहीं भी हुआ या देर से भी हुआ, then you are not living with a feeling of lack.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not missing something in your life. You've built such a full life for yourself. Why would you want to doubt the choices you've made just because one aspect of your life, which is just a part of your life, is not fulfilled yet?
It is.
You know what they say, when the goal is to experience, then everything is a win.
Yeah.
Wow.
What is another thing you wish more women understood about how men approach dating?
It's one of the things that I really wish I could write a thesis on, but there are broad categories in which men approach women. The first one is breaking the boundary of familiarity. So if I approach you and I say, I know you from somewhere. Did you go to XYZ school? Or did we meet at XYZ's party? It may be absolute horseshit. I might be cooking up random names. More often than not it is. But the idea is that if I ask you, like, did you go to this school? You say, no, I went to that school. Then I'm going through my Rolodex and thinking, I know this person from this school. And then I can...
Yeah, so you grab the anchor and then...
So subconsciously I've built that little bridge with you. Ki, oh, you have this person if you want to do a reference check ever. The second one is a physical boundary that you have to break through. Because once you establish a sense of touch with another person, you've subconsciously given the message that, okay, this person is somewhat safe enough. The touch has to be consensual. Please, I have to emphasize on this. But the funniest way I've seen this is, oh, I'm a tarot card reader, I'm a palmist. And I know for a fact, I'm seeing your faces, you have either seen this in person or it has happened with you. So Kashish, for example, I come up to you and I say, ki, I'm a palm reader. If you believe it, for example, you will be like, okay, cool, sure. If you don't believe it, you will know ki, okay, this guy is up to no good.
What do people do? They tell you like some really vague things, and
But
they're like,
point
so
being
what's your
ki
reaction?
छू तो लिया ना इसके.
The point is that you've established physical touch. So now this person will inherently feel safe enough.
That is crazy.
It's insane.
It's a playbook. Does it work most of the time?
I've seen it work.
How can women like be more receptive or like romantic? Like, how can we do better?
The idea of flirting is supposed to be harmless. It's supposed to be playful. It is not always means to an end. Like if somebody comes up to you and says hi, their objective may not always be to get in bed with you. Sometimes it's just an icebreaker. Sometimes it might just be as simple as me coming up to you and saying, hey, I love the jacket that you have on. Is this the coolest piece in your wardrobe? Or like, is this your regular dressing sense? It's just an entry into a conversation, right? If you feel like this person does not have any malicious intent, play along. I think that is the only thing that I would recommend. As long as boundaries are respected, as long as they understand your willingness or lack thereof to engage in a conversation, play along.
Yeah, and like to add on to that, like one way to extend a conversation rather than to shut it down and, you know, go for connection instead of distance is like play along with the bit. Like if you can engage in a bit for a long time and like suspend reality and suspend like social norms and just do the bit, I think that's a great way to have a shared experience in a very short term like social context. So everyone's tired of answering what they do for work and where they're from. Like I don't care that you know you're from Noida, like so is everyone else. What are some other questions that go beyond the surface level that you guys have either asked or been asked or heard?
Everyone has the same tried and tested, done to death list of questions. What do you do for work? What about your family? How are you close to your siblings? I don't want to hear all of this. This one that I really like to do is, if all jobs paid the same money, what would you rather be doing right now? It doesn't necessarily have to be a means of understanding this person's dream job. If they kind of revert and say ki, I like what I'm doing right now, it tells me that in terms of career, this person is pretty satisfied with where they are. If they tell me something about a childhood dream, then I get more insight about, you know, how this person thinks or how this person kind of mapped their trajectory in life.
One question I love to ask is if you were a dessert, what dessert would you be? Because you're not asking what your favorite dessert is. You're asking like, what is their level of self-awareness? Like everybody wants to think that they're like, you know, the blueberry cheesecake. Deep down, you know that you're rasmalai at heart, you know, that sort of thing. And you can actually learn a lot about a person. And it's more fun and creative. Gives them a chance to be creative.
I love that. I'm stealing it.
Go for it.
Sure, it's not patent.
I know mine. It's tiramisu.
Oh.
It's layered. It has rum in it. It has a slightly bitter taste to it, but it leaves you craving more, and it also kind of gets you a bit drunk on it. So
Really?
I love that.
Also, other creative questions that you can consider asking. I'm giving you all a lot of free questions here that you can use on dates anytime. If today were your last day on earth, what would you spend it doing?
Yeah.
If money were no object and you could go to the airport, where are you booking your flight? What's your favorite seasoning?
I would ask, what's your favorite childhood memory? If you could have dinner with somebody who's dead, who would that person be? And what vegetable are you? Because people don't like vegetables per se, so that tells you a lot. And why should somebody date you?
Pitch yourself.
If you've ever imagined somebody standing in the rain with a guitar playing Iris outside your window, hi, hello. If you've ever imagined somebody coming up to you and starting every conversation with, hello G. Hello. If you ever wanted to date like Kabir Mehra from Dil Dhadakne Do, hello. I live a very cool life, and if somebody wants to be a part of that, somebody who can pull their weight and, you know, kind of bring that sense of whimsy, bring a sense of curiosity, bring unlimited Bollywood references, I'm your guy. I would not call myself the life of every party, but I do make places fun wherever I go. So I think that, plus I do take my job seriously, I take my life seriously, but I don't take myself as seriously.
Very good, yeah.
I think that's as good as it gets. If you want to know something else, here's my number, here's my email ID, my Instagram handle, LinkedIn. All pigeon services are temporarily suspended. There's a bit of an issue. There's a
The airspace. Oh,
Yeah,
I got war.
Oh no, that's all fine.
Do you want to date like someone who's just like you or someone who is very different than you? Like, would you go for a biker chick, or do you want like that soft, like feminine, like demure, girly pop?
Someone who does not fit a particular bracket. Like, I would want to meet someone who on Mondays can be like passenger princess, like take me out to town, like I want to go shop. Wednesday, they're like मूर्थल चलते हैं पराठे खाने के लिए.
अगर उसकी जॉब मंडे से फ्राइडे तो कैसे होगा?
9 to 5 के बाहर भी जिंदगी होती है.
Oh, अच्छा. It's allowed है क्या?
करना पड़ता है. नहीं, but the idea is that somebody who is down for just about anything, like that challability factor is something that I highly admire and value in people.
कि चाय पीना है, चल पहाड़ पे चलते हैं.
हाँ, I would genuinely love for somebody to try new things, be open for new experiences. Like if I text them ki next weekend's free, do you want to go for a long drive to Jaipur? Okay.
Basically spontaneous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
We were having this conversation like age is just a number. Like, why do you feel that? Like, I also feel the same, but we'll get to that later.
I used to operate with a very rigorous belief that if I am dating someone, I have to date in like a particular age bracket. Like my age plus minus 2 was the bracket that I used to exclusively think. I had turned down a very lovely lady because of that. And everything's good. We're friends now. We keep updating each other about our
Side ideas.
horrible love lives. But things didn't work out with her. And then I ended up dating somebody my age who did not, for lack of a better phrase, act like it. So I think that was a nice wake-up call, that age does not necessarily translate into maturity.
I agree. Same happened with me. I dated someone like 5 years older than me. I was like, at least वो तो mature हो गए. उसका तो prefrontal cortex थोड़ा सा developed हो गई. But like, what a surprise. He was the most immature guy I ever dated. And now I'm dating someone who's like younger to me, and he's the most mature guy I have ever dated. So like, that is true. I believe you.
Maturity and growth is so much about the desire to grow and the intention and to do it deliberately and intentionally. So that can happen at any age. So I really just think it's very person to person. It's super subjective. However, that being said, like when you're the same age as someone, you kind of have more things in common in terms of what stage of life you're at, what kind of experiences you've had so far. So I mean, at this point, like if I'm dating anyone, mostly they will have already had like at least 1 or 2 relationships already behind them. And to me, it's kind of like helpful because I'm like, okay, you know, you've been through sort of the training wheels of the baby stage relationships, and now you're coming to me a bit more like fully formed, and so am I, and I've like learned through every relationship, so I kind of like being older.
So you feel that someone who has been in past relationship, that helps, right? That is what you prefer, right?
It does. I do think relationships hold a mirror up to you, and they can be deeply formative for the right person who takes it that way. I mean, some people don't, and
that's a good filter.
You seem to disagree.
It's fine if you date somebody your age who's had a couple of relationships behind them and they do hold a mirror to you, but the voluntary choice of looking into that mirror and identifying what your own role was in that relationship, I think that is something that's not as common. Like that's where the whole age versus maturity discussion comes into play. I could date somebody who's my age, who's also gone through like 3 or 4 relationships and long-term, short-term relationships, whatever. But have they had the time or the willingness to look in the mirror, introspect, analyze what their own role was? Because it's very easy to say, I had a crazy ex, or mine was absolutely psychotic, or she didn't know how to behave. But at what point of time do you stop and say, okay, maybe I did not draw my boundaries well enough. Maybe I didn't stand by them. Maybe I had gaps in communication. Like in my case personally, that's what I've been doing for the past year or so. Like whatever happened in my past couple of relationships, I've sat down to think about them at length. They did this, fine, that's up to them. What did I do about this? That kind of maturity is not something that comes with age. So
that comes with choice.
It's a voluntary choice. It's something that you have to do.
What is the biggest thing that you learned in this period of reflection about yourself?
That it's not just sufficient to say that, okay, these are my boundaries. Like this is not something that I will stand for. You have to stand by it. Because if you convey the message that this is a boundary that I have, but you don't do anything about it when somebody is willingly or otherwise crossing it or trampling on it, then you're simply sending out the message that, hey, it's not a boundary, it's a recommendation. Like, do with that what you will. I think that was my biggest learning, and now I've become fiercely protective of things that I will say, okay, this is fine, this is acceptable within reason, this is a hard stop, you do this, you get a warning, you do it again, I'm out.
What's an example of a boundary that you maybe self-abandoned?
For me, the biggest boundary that I had boiled down to the kind of free time that I have available, right? Because after your job and barring your 7-8 hours of sleep, you get a certain amount of time every day, right? And it is entirely on you to decide where that time goes, whether you want to spend it with family, whether you want to do it with friends, whether you want to spend that time with a partner, whether you want to spend that in isolation.
That's your choice, right?
Exactly. For me to say, okay, I can't meet you 5 days a week, or I can't meet you 4 days a week, I can do once a week, maybe twice a week. I convey it to someone. If they are okay with it, well and good, everything's rosy. If they say, I don't know, can we do like 5 times a week, can we do 4 times a week, then you figure something out, you kind of see what's sustainable. But if you just kind of cave into it and you say, ki, I can do once a week, I can do twice a week, but for you, I'll do 4 times a week, you're burning yourself out.
Yeah.
You're compromising on other things. That's something that I did. That's something I never intended.
That's something on you, right?
It's on me. That is exactly what I realized was my fault. That I identified a boundary, I verbalized it, but I did not stand by it.
Yeah.
So when the other person sees you not standing by your own word,
We don't take someone's word for it. We also look at somebody's actions.
Exactly.
You're kind of a liar. No, seriously, you say something, but you don't.
Yeah, or maybe I could think that, okay, he's willing to give up everything for me. Maybe I'm so great, or he loves me so much that maybe he wants to come and see me 4 days a week. Whereas he's pushing himself and he's there hanging by a thread and not sleeping.
Having boundaries is very sexy. Right?
True.
Someone with
I love
boundaries. And just in case if you're giving also now, there are high chances the other person is also thinking कि भाई कुछ है नहीं क्या काम है उसको. Like she might also think that way,
Are
right?
you gonna bitch her for me?
Yeah.
see, at the end of the day, everyone only has one thing that they'll carry with them. It is their word. If you stand by yourself, if you say something and you mean it, you show a certain sense of integrity towards yourself. It sends out that signal ki, oh, okay, this person will treat my boundaries with respect as well. So that was something that I've had to work on for the past year or so, and it's made a huge difference.
For sure. I'm glad that you did, yeah.
Proud of you.
What I feel like in similar situations where I have like let go of a boundary, it has been because maybe I was too desperate to keep that person and I was too scared to, you know, let them go. I knew that I was violating my own boundary and it would not work for me. But in that moment, I wanted that person to choose me so badly that I let it happen.
Yeah.
And then I lost respect for them and for myself in that moment.
Yeah.
I have one question. Like every time I ask a guy, oh, what is this one character that you look up to? One Bollywood figure, they always like name a hero and they're like, oh, Shah Rukh Khan and this and that.
Yeah.
What is one female character that you looked at and you were like, मुझे ऐसी बंदी चाहिए?
Akira Rai from Jab Tak Hai Jaan.
Oh,
Akira is who?
Anushka's character. That bold, daring, carefree, but
I like her.
also ended up becoming like an old school hopeless romantic.
तगड़ी एकदम से hard, like कि no one can hurt me now.
That show of vulnerability, that show of softness was something I noticed immediately, and I've loved that. Yash Raj's characters are like very interesting.
Nice, yeah.
I do have a close second.
oh yeah, tell us.
Chandra's going to love this.
Oh God. Katrina कैसी है?
From Ziswar Khan.
Please, और makeup लगाओ, और makeup लगाओ.
That is my spirit animal.
You watch a lot of Bollywood, and I think हम लोग भी देखते रहते हैं. किस movie से your idea of love was sort of, you know, formed, created?
I grew up on a steady diet of like Shah Rukh movies, obviously. So the idea of love was always at some point of time like, you know, slow motion, violence. Main Hu Na ruined me for life. I swear to God, it ruined me for life. I've always wanted that, right? Like I'm just sitting somewhere, woman walks by in a sari and I'm just like, Chand mera dil. But obviously I think when time passes and when you live an actual life that's not written by Farah Khan, I think you realize that love is more grounded. It's in these small unassuming in-betweens. It's when you're with your partner at home and you're trying to find your lost passport, or if you've settled down with someone and you're trying to pick out a nameplate for your house, or when you're sitting with your girlfriend at a family dinner and you just squeeze their hand under the table and you're like, we're done here, I just want to head out. So I think it's those small gestures that happen every day in your life without you even actively acknowledging them. But for me, that is what love is now. Grand gestures and all, everything is fine, but you are not going to spend your life in Paris in front of the Eiffel Tower. You're going to spend it at home arguing who's playing PS5 today.
Yeah.
That's the vibe.
Yeah.
Bhai, I am such a Bollywood lover that I try to, connect all of my, love experiences and जो भी छोटे-छोटे moments होते हैं with, some Bollywood movie. I've lived Malang. I want to create such Bollywood movie scenes. मुझे तो बहुत मजा आता है. So like I relate to that.
In a past life, I've lived through Bachna Hai Hasino.
Oh my
god.
Oh my god, that is crazy.
That's where I missed out because I didn't grow up on a steady diet of anything Bollywood really related. So I mean, I think there are two sides to that because everyone seems here, especially in India, when you're dating, like everyone seems to have this really shared understanding of like what love is supposed to be, and it's like a different language. So I'm like not really like fluent. But I think on the flip side, sometimes Bollywood does set unrealistic expectations that I'm somewhere excluded from that in a good way as well. So I guess I have a very different view. Like I was raised on like those 90s crazy stupid love.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Exactly. Like that genre, which is problematic.
It's a different vibe altogether because
it is.
Like obviously it's romance, love is love at the end of the day, but it's very different.
It's a different language. I think
different
that's
language,
the difference.
yeah.
So
I think something very opposite happened to me. I was never somebody who used to fall for Bollywood romances or want Bollywood romances in life. I'm not even somebody who's in the grand gestures or in the small gestures. I am a very practical person.
Gesture-less person.
Gesture-less person. But what has happened to me is if you are with the right person and that person is as much a romantic as you are, even in those tiny moments, वो violence बचते हैं यार. वो ऐसा लगता है कि अभी ऐसे वो पेड़ ऐसे लहरा रहा है. Like in those small moments, you would just look into that person's eyes and you can legit hear like the violence swell. You can legit see the wind. You can see how the day turns into night and it's like you're suddenly in a chiffon sari in your head. And I never want that for myself. That doesn't even appeal to me. But I feel with the right person, you get those feelings, obviously. Like, oh my God, I used to hate men who used to send like shairis and stuff.
For the love of all that you hold sacred, it's great that you read poetry, but please do not recite Rumi, Gulzar, Ghalib, Faiz. Don't use it as a pickup line.
yeah, I fear I would fall for that.
Yeah.
If you could a cartoon character, could fuck a character.
I know mine.
Okay, answer this. If you could fuck a cartoon character, kaun sa character?
This is not something I'm asking on a date ever.
We are asking you.
Yeah.
Now.
That mayor's assistant from Powerpuff Girls, whose face
You
we
were
never
gonna
see.
say that. I knew you were gonna say that.
I'm that predictable.
No, a lot of guys like her.
She's a
Face
woman
right.
of mystery. We appreciate that.
Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
The dad aura. He was giving like, good father energy.
Bob the Builder.
Popeye. I like Popeye. Oh, we should do your public
Sock
effect.
tour. Sock
Public
tour.
display of sock.
Oh my god. Very, very on theme for today.
Thank you.
What's one thing in dating that you used to hate that you love now?
I think it's delayed replies. Hear me out. At some point of time, I used to be the kind of person who wanted instant gratification. Active on social media, active on the apps. So you just kind of expect everyone to be available. Now, I cannot function that way. If I get a message at 10 a.m., I'll see it. I'll probably think of a reply in my head. But there are other things that require my attention. So I will probably text around like 1, 2, sometimes even like in the evening after I'm done with work. If you are replying to a message, be present in that moment.
Is there anything that you guys used to hate that you love now?
So easy. Good guys. Bhai, I used
Oh,
to
you
hate
used to
good
hate
guys.
good guys,
It's like,
yeah.
oh my god, so boring. ये तो कुछ करता भी नहीं है, like nothing. But now it's good. It's sustainable.
Yeah. I used to hate like outdoorsy kind of dates. Like I always wanted to just be inside, like at a restaurant or a cafe or something. But now I'm like very into exercise. I'm very into activities. Like I love when I can kill two birds with one stone. Like if I can also get a nice walk in, get some steps in, like that's helpful because I just have limited time at this point.
Love that.
And with that, another brunch club draws to a close. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do be sure to hit subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave in the comment section below your best pickup line that has or maybe hasn't worked in the past. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace out.